Let's take a look at how to use the SQL lead and log function. The lead function is a window function that provides access to a row at a specified physical offset which follows the current row. The log function is very similar to the lead function. However, it provides the access to a row at a specified physical offset which comes before the current row. Now the syntax for both functions are very similar, with the only difference being the initial keyword used to start the function. So for the lead function, you'll start off with the lead keyword, and for the log function, you'll start off with the log keyword. Now, after starting the function with either the lead or the log keyword, you would then be placing in brackets two parameters. One, the column that you want to use as reference for the function, as well as the offset value. And the offset value will determine how much further from this reference column should it use the data. After providing those two inputs, you'd then give the over keyword, and then in brackets it takes two inputs. It has the partition by and the order by. Now, the partition by is optional and the order by is required. What the partition by does is it allows for the grouping of data that is utilized in the function. The order by, which is required, it will determine the order in which the data will return the results to you. So the log function is in essence the same syntax structure for the lead function, with the only difference being that the log function is started with the log keyword. Let's take a look at these two functions in practice to get a better understanding as to how it will truly work. What is meant by the specified physical offset that either follows the current row or comes before the current row. So today we'll be looking at our staff table. So we'll do a select statement on that. And we have 6 records in this particular table that have 3 columns: the staff code, staff name, and the joining date. So what we'll do is we'll create our statement that has both the lead and log function present to see how they'll truly work. So we've created our select statement and we're including the staff code, the staff name, the joining date, and we've provided the log function and the lead function. Now, as we specified earlier, the log function is started with the log keyword, and then in brackets you provide the column for reference. This is where we'd be getting the data to be used to offset. Then we'd specify the offset value. So in this case we specified it to 1, and then our over keyword, and we've provided only the required value, which is the order by, and we'll be ordering it by the joining date in ascending order, and we'll be returning this in a column called log date. And similarly for the lead function, we've done it in the exact same manner as the log function, with the only difference being the initial keyword being lead, and we'll be returning the data in a column called lead date. So we're going to highlight and execute, and as we're seeing on screen, we have 2 additional columns present: log date and lead date. So let's take a look at the log date information to get an understanding as to what truly happened with the function. So for the log date, what it does is, for the very first record that it is returning data for, it will return it as a null value. And that's because the offset for the log starts at the beginning. Therefore, there will be no value for it to use the log function, as the first value in the joining date will be used for the second value in the log date function, or the log date in the log function that is in the log date column. So if you notice, we've specified the offset to be 1. So what we're seeing is, for the joining date in the first row, it is representing that value in the second row for the log date. Similarly, the second data in the joining date column is represented in the third row for the log date. So because the offset is 1, it will bring the joining date into the next row for the record. Now, in looking at the lead date, it does it in the opposite manner. So, the very first record present in the lead date will be taken from the second record in the joining date column. So, you'll see September 1, 2018 and September 1, 2018 here. And it continues in that same manner. So the second record here, which is October 1, 2018, is the third record here in the joining date column. So this is how the lead function and the log function operates. And for the last record in the lead date column, there's no value here, which is a null. And that's because in utilizing this function, it would require a 7th row to be present for it to be able to take data from to place it into the lead date column. So our key takeaways: using the log and lead function has the same structure in terms of the syntax, with the key difference being utilizing the log keyword at the start and the lead keyword at the start. You'll provide the column that you want to make reference to utilize in the log or the lead function, and then you'll specify the offset value. So what we'll be doing right before we finish, we'll change these values to 2 and re-execute to see how our results will look. So what has happened now is we have, for the log function, offset by 2, therefore the first 2 records are blank. Then it will start picking up the data from the first record or the first row and placing it into the third row. Similarly, for the lead function, it will utilize the record that is in the third row and place it in the first row for the lead function.